Hey, how's it going? I hope everyone is good and safe. I'm back at it again with a little video review for Speed Limit, a crazy little game made by GameChuck and Chorus Worldwide Games. I call it crazy, and I mean that in the best way possible. The game is described and pushed as a non-stop genre warping experience that never slows down. No cuts, no lapses in the chaos. Speed Limit is an old school action extravaganza, boiled down to its core elements. Hard, fast, addicting. And honestly, that's 100% the experience. When I first saw the game in a game trailer, I thought to myself, damn, this looks crazy and action packed. But will it play the way it's marketed and really work, plus be super smooth? You and I know that even though I support the indies 100% and they work very hard, we have seen a ton of indie games that did not deliver, and even AAA games that don't deliver on their promise. Honestly, all I gotta say is that it really does play the way you see in the trailers. Speed Limit is pretty much an action movie you fully control. You go from scene to scene like a big action movie from the 90s. It makes you feel like the long lost relative of John Wick or Neo. That's when you're not dying, of course. Prepare to die, and die a whole lot. I never thought I would mean that again for another game after playing From Software games, but in Speed Limit you will die many times. I died over 300 times on my first playthrough, but it didn't feel like a chore or too frustrating, mainly because how fast the game reloads. For example, let's just say if there was a long load screen after each death, then that would be terrible. But thankfully, it's not like that. Dying in the game is a very valuable lesson, as it's all about trial and error. You need to pay close attention to everything in the game, level surroundings, the enemies, yourself, and even specific in-game cues. You'll see, as I don't want to spoil anything, you'll see for yourself for sure. You have to remember how you died for your next run. It's definitely not roguelite, so you can remember where all the enemies are placed and how they attack you easily. Now me, I speak for myself, I like the challenge a lot, but what will help this game for people who don't like their games to be too difficult is the checkpoint system. While they could be a bit harder to reach at times when compared to other modern retro style games, because of the amount of times you're just dying and dying and dying, the checkpoints help out quite a lot and provide a ton of relief when you see you don't have to start from the beginning of the chapter anymore. Obviously, for speedrunners and no death run players, the checkpoint system isn't even gonna matter. But that's definitely and something I cannot wait to watch. The speedrunners are gonna go insane for this game. Speed Limit is presented in a beautiful pixelated art style type of movie. It even has cinematic camera angles. The entire game is a huge set piece that would satisfy any action junkie. I promise you. You die with one hit, Contra style, most of the time. I won't mention the other times for spoiler purposes. Personally, I took this game as an action puzzle game, and the puzzle itself is actually finding out how to use your reflexes in a way to advance to the next screen or chapter. It's just so adrenaline filled. The gameplay is tight and everything works so well, whether you're flying, driving, or shooting. When you die, honestly, it's your fault. I didn't experience any BS moments that I could have blamed on the developers. Whether it sounds funny or not, it's true. You know, there's sometimes you play a game and it's just so horribly made, you're like, oh my god, these developers suck. But that's not the case here. When you die, it's your fault. With that being said, I'm gonna wrap it up because I don't want to show anything past the first stage because the game is like a movie and it's pretty short. And that's okay because it's definitely an arcade game. I wish I could actually play this at a real arcade. That would be freaking awesome. Overall, it's a really good game. It's a little bit short, but it has a bunch of replay value just from the adrenaline you get. It's also a great thing to show off to your friends when they come over, like, hey, you want to see this badass game, and just let them try and experience it, because it's a really good experience. It took me about, give or take, 2 hours to beat it on my first playthrough. And that's cool, because it has a bunch of replay value, as I stated, and I want to go back and try to get some achievements and try to beat some stages with more finesse, because it's just a really fancy action game. I say if you're a fan of arcade and a fan of specific games like Metal Slug, and Contra, then you definitely have to check this out. You will definitely have an enjoyable experience if you're used to those games. Now, if you're not used to those games, I highly suggest you try out the demo. I saw there's a demo for it on Xbox Live, and I'm sure it's on other platforms, so definitely check it out if you're unsure after this review. I want to give a big thanks to the devs and the publisher for giving me the opportunity to review this game. I appreciate it. And with that being said, I'm just going to wrap it up. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you liked it, please give me a like. If you want me to play a certain game, just let me know in the comments. And with that being said, again, I'm going to end it on that. Thanks for watching, and take care.